Hello, welcome along to episode 163 of Adventures in Pop. My name's Sam Jacobs. You are looking as gorgeous as ever, and I certainly like the way you've done your hair. In this episode, we are very excitedly going to preview the 11th single from my forthcoming album. The album's called Strange Alien. I think you probably know this by now. So the album's called Strange Alien. The 11th track is called Face the Music. There is a video. It doesn't actually come out until the end of next week. It's out on the 24th of May. The album follows it on the 31st of May. But I'm a little bit kind of ahead of myself because, as I have mentioned in recent editions of Adventures in Pop, I'm working with some professionals and they require stuff, they require assets to be, ready to go and finished and kind of part of a strategy. So I do have the video, I've got the track. I would normally wait until next week to play it to you, but why? I've got it. I think you should hear it. It's a good track. It's kind of leading the album, even though we're also focusing on the video of Strange Alien. So in a way, we're focusing on the video of Strange Alien for a YouTube campaign. But in terms of a press campaign for the album, we are focusing on this 11th track, Face the Music. So I think you need to hear it. And I want to update you on where the campaign is altogether. Been a couple of quite exciting developments. I mean, I call them exciting, partly because they're novel, partly because it's just uncharted territory for me. I have not, been in this situation before. So I will explain everything and then we'll end up on this video. I'm going to pop the video of Face the Music. So it's absolutely worth hanging in for. And by the way, I've forgotten for weeks and weeks and weeks to say anything about subscribing and ringing the bell and liking and commenting and all those things, but please do. I love a bit of feedback. I love a bit of dialogue, and don't be shy. Thank you. All right. So here we go. As I say, these are the dates for these releases are end of next week for the single, the end of the week after for the album. And I probably should actually tell you what this PR company is called. I mean, I've been a bit coy about this, just in case I was dreaming the whole thing, and maybe I was in a slight state of denial for a while that this was actually happening. But I think the time has come for me to admit to myself and possibly to you that these people do really exist and they are really doing things. So there's a bit of proof that they really exist. Not only have I spoken to them in real life, that should be proof enough, shouldn't it? But moreover, some things have started to happen. So I want to talk to you about press, because this is completely, new for me. I was, in a way, I think I dismissed press as being so old school that there's no point. But that could be just fundamentally wrong. So the story so far is this. I am working with a company from Brighton. They're called Liberty PR. They specialise in music promotion, music PR. They have a range of people with obviously specialist skills in things like managing a TikTok advertising campaign, managing, what I kind of refer to as traditional press, magazines, publications like that. The guy I have been talking to throughout, a chap called Dan, is sort of coordinating the strategy, and obviously we talked at the beginning about what were the options, certainly what are the prices, but also what are the options, and what could this thing look like, and what was the best way to proceed, and those decisions that we had to make about, okay, so which track, and what would the timing be, and all those things. Press. So let's go back to press. There's a particular person amongst the team who is in charge of the press. She wrote, on the basis of some stuff that I'd sent to her, she wrote a press release. And it was good. I mean, here and there, I felt like it had taken a slight flight of fancy. But maybe, that's what press releases do. I shouldn't be sort of pedantically modest about it, I suppose. This is not a time to be shy, modest, and retiring. So if it does look like the press release has stepped into a slightly alternate reality, as long as it's not dangerous, then let's run with it. That's my that's my view, and I'm going to share some of this stuff with you. So she wrote this press release. I put some amendments in about, maybe we could say this and what about that. So there were a few amendments to the press release. Off it went early this week, and yesterday I was out in the evening, and I was home not very late, about 9 or something like that. And there were 2 emails waiting for me, and they were from this same woman as part of the team saying, the first one was saying, good news, we've already managed to secure, some press on the basis of this press release. And then literally it was like half an hour later, another email had come in. Good news, here's the second. So I'm going to show them, I'll put them up on the screen. I'm not going to expect you to, read them off the screen. But I'll share with you the juicy parts, if I may. So one is in Vents magazine, VENTS, Vents magazine, and and it starts off: independent singer-songwriter Simon Jacobs is poised to release his much-anticipated new single. Anticipated by who? Actually, don't know. No, let's not go down that road. If I start picking holes in it now, that's very counterproductive. I won't do that. His music, characterised by a unique fusion of pop elements, incisive lyrics, seeks to smartly redefine the genre. Did you know that? Oh, I'm doing it again. Stop it. Now, what I would say is that the article that has gone into Vents magazine as of May the 15th, 2024, is very, very closely staying close to the words and phrases, paragraphs of the press release. So bless them, I'm thrilled to bits, but they haven't gone much outside what they were sent. But who cares? They're giving me publicity and links to the tracks in question, etc. So all of that I appreciate. So that's one piece. Slightly more interesting, actually, a guy called, I don't know this guy, a guy called Sydney Claster, who writes a music blog, has also picked this up. I'm just having a look at it now. I'll share this on the screen. And he says he's made a bit more of this. He's obviously actually listened and thought, okay, so what do I think about this track? And he says, this is what he's written that's completely independent of the press release, which is, for me, is like the most interesting thing. He says, in this new song, one can hear an eclectic mix of influences from jazz to hip hop to Latin-inspired pop. Okay, there's almost a subtle theatrical element found in his vocal style and the musical structure as well. I noticed this more so in the beginning. Face the Music has a playful rhythm with a dynamic drum pattern, some nice percussion. However, there's a darker and more serious tone in this song, highlighting Jacob's situation. The music has an interesting contrast that complements the subject matter. Now, the situation he's referring to is, I think he's taken it seriously, the song being a kind of a breakup song, that I must have recently had a breakup. I almost dare not say to you or to him that actually the song is completely fictional. I'm just imagining it. Then he writes, dramatic horns and chirping synthesizers add a bit of sparkle and glitz to the production. Overall, it is very well arranged and shows Jacob's versatile musical talent and ability to effectively organize different instrumental components. I think that's a compliment, and I very much appreciate it. He says, Jacob's songwriting shows a witty personal style with his sharp, cutting humour. And then he's quoted a couple of lines from this song, Face the Music, and I will quote them because he quoted them. He says, you don't need a man, it's clear, I think you need a pet. Just a little dog to gaze at you with big, brown, puppy eyes. Yes, I wrote that in the song. Poking fun at his ex-partner, and quite aptly, might I add. His lyricism is spot on throughout the song. He He's turned the fallout of his broken romantic attachment into a clever, cunning musical story, a creative wordsmith who utilizes strong emotions to produce something creative to share with others. Be sure to keep an eye out for his album Strange Alien, out later this month. Well, I couldn't say better than that, really, could I? So look, I'm here to say a YouTube campaign has started. This campaign to get some press is up and running, and hence I'm sharing those two items with you. It's very hard to say at this stage what is translating into actual streams on Spotify or views on YouTube, but I think all of that is a bit early. I mean, all of that will become clear, and I just need to keep my expectations very modest, I think. Otherwise, I'm probably going to be upset. So I think it's best to do that way. I'm still envisaging that in a month's time, I will be about as well known as I am now. But let's see. Things can happen. Things can change. All right. I think the time has come for me to leave you with the track in question and let you judge for yourself whether Face the Music is worthy of such complimentary review, as complimentary criticism, as this chap, Sydney Castor, has provided. So I'm very grateful to Sydney Castor. I'm grateful to the other journalists who's popped it in Vents magazine. And particularly, I am very grateful to Liberty PR. And in every picture that I see of me, I'm also grateful to Rachel and my leather jacket. Well, I mean, without that leather jacket, well, I don't know. What have I done? I wouldn't have been brave enough to even go ahead with this whole campaign. The leather jacket was the start of it. Okay, I'm going to leave you with this track. What I want to say about this song is, very briefly, I was sitting up reasonably late one evening, and I remember the entire tune of this kind of coming into my head in the space of, 2 minutes probably. I had the tune. I didn't have the words. I wasn't quite sure what the words were going to be about, and that kind of gradually sort of came to me. And I've said it in the press release, and it's been picked up in one of these articles, which is that the difficult part actually was not coming up with the tune, which is a nice tune, but the difficult part was finding lines of words that scanned absolutely 100%, because it had to, because of the way that it's such a regular, tune, the way that the rhythm works. It would not have worked if I had lumpy words that kind of were falling outside of, these smooth lines. So I had to always work out, in this moment, do I need a word with 1 syllable, 2 syllables, 3 syllables? Where's the emphasis going to go, etc., and make sure that it kind of all made sense, which it just about does. The other thing I would say is that as the song was materialising in terms of its production, it did definitely take a bit of a Latin feel, and you will hear that, but not until about halfway through the song. So it starts off very traditional piano and voice, and then it takes a bit of a left turn about halfway through. It starts to get quite Latin trumpety, and the more it does that, the more I like it. So I'm going to leave this with you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like it too. This is called Face the Music. It is the 11th track from the album Strange Alien. It's out next week. The album's out the week after. You be good, stay safe, share alike, and enjoy this. Here comes Face the Music. Bye-bye.
You said that you would wait for me, and then you ran away. Did you have no faith in me, or just not enough to stay? At what point did you change your mind, or thought it better not to say? When did you become resigned to ending it this way? What happened to your self-respect? What happened to our plans? What happened to the dreams you wrecked with all your wild demands? Is this who you really are? are, or is there something I don't get? Would you wind the clock back not too far and claim we never met? You don't wanna face the music or see the destruction left in your wake. You gotta stand up, you gotta man up. Let's see how much you can take. You think these are the best of times? Well, I tell you they're the worst. I have been down here before, so you are not the first. You say that I'm a lucky man, but I think that I've been cursed. If things are going well, I'm scared the bubble's gonna burst. The sooner that you're gone from here, the sooner I'll forget. You don't need a man, it's clear. I think you need a pet. Just a little dog to gaze at you with big brown puppy eyes. A dog will never question you or see through all the lies. You don't wanna face the music or see the destruction left in your wake. You gotta stand up, you gotta man up. Let's see how much you can take. You said that you would wait for me, and then you ran away. And did you have no faith in me, or not enough to stay? Or what point did you change your mind, but thought it better not to say? Or when did you become resigned to ending it this way? What happened to your self-respect? Oh, what happened to our plans?